Yes, as we can see, this is the finished product, or should I say finished piece, artwork, art piece, Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun drawing this, Broly, Super Broly, I don't know, whatever you want to go. I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, but I don't really know all of the intricate details. You feel what I'm saying? I love the generation now though, because they, at the drop of a dime, they can watch all the seasons back to back, get caught up on all the information. I mean, anyone can, but for the younger generation that is into the Dragon Ball Z, like, they didn't have to go through what the generation where I'm from had to go through, which was the 90s, where we had to sit through commercials and weeks upon weeks to wait for the next episode. But back to the artwork, you can see I kind of messed up on certain parts, my proportions are kind of off, but that's just me, learning, keeping the flow going, staying with the flow, not really wanting to erase too much or start over, because that was my a big problem for me in the past as a young artist, was always wanting to crumble it up, start over. So now I'm, I feel more comfortable erasing and knowing that the color on top of it, especially now that I taught myself how to add digital color to my art pieces by scanning my artwork, my hand drawing, my line art, scanning it into the computer, and then from there, hitting it with some shadow, base color first, shadows, highlights, and everything. I love to use the pen tool. It's Photoshop, of course. I love to use the pen tool because it lets me get very, 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 very close, and it also helps me make improvements on my line art. My line work. Some parts where I may have held the pen too long and it kind of got smudged, or where it bleed through the paper. What we artists go through day to day when we take on these challenges of drawing, whatever it may be. Dragon Ball Z today, Naruto the next, Pokemon the next, whatever, Avengers, whatever it may be. But I definitely love art, man. Especially when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, the style that they chose to draw the characters and to show the definition in the physique, of the characters, and I love the hair choice. It's not really you would call mohawks or anything like that. It's kind of like big chunks of hair. It's kind of like how what's that hairstyle they call it, like dreadlocks, but not really dreadlocks, like a free forming locks, where you just allow the hair to mat and become like a bundle. Certain hair, it connects to one another and they create a bigger knot. I think it's called bongos or something like that, but yeah, don't quote me, but that's what I feel like, Dragon Ball Z have, it's a assimilation of that hairstyle, from Goku to Vegeta to Bro. You look at their hair, it's like these thick branches, these sections, and that comes with, studying certain things. So that cartoon is very much more deep than I think we know, but we like to stay on just the action and the kamehamehas and the kamehameha, the spirit bombs and the final flash and this, all the finishing moves, man. But I also have a hand colored and hand drawn art piece that I'm about to also show up. show next. Uh, Disclaimer though, I did drew. I mean, you just seen it. I drew the Broly. I didn't color it by hand, but I drew it by hand. Lined it, traced it with the line, with the fine pencil. I don't know, or marker. I don't know what measurement it is, but it's thin enough for me. So, and then I know my next step for me, the line art matters, but when I put it into the computer, it just, you can see it. It just takes a whole nother shape. And I also experimented in this session when I was playing on Photoshop, which was to keep out the black line art, or the black bold lines that basically kind of shows where everything is. You see what I'm saying? Like, you basically draw everything in pencil and trace it over in this black ink. And for me, I do that also, but it takes away a certain realistic aspect of the drawing. Hence, I do know we are drawing cartoons, but as you can see, it, on my drawing and cut, it just adds another dynamic to it, because, as we know in real life, we don't have black lines that basically outline where our chin is, or where a finger ends or begins, or where your arm creases when it makes a bicep, when you flex your bicep. Like, none of these are lines. It's all lighting and shadow. The way the shadow, or how could I say, the way the light reflects off of the subject, which would be you, and in this case, let's say your arm, the way the light reflects off of that, it gives a certain appearance, and that's just from the shadows and highlights, from the contrast of colors, or should I say brightness and darkness. So I kind of like to add that in my drawings, or should I say my colorings from time to time, because it gives it a different, it just gives it this nice little, and especially coloring, or should I say, inking, or, adding color to your artwork on a computer. It allows you to do so much things that you probably couldn't get. It allows you to do so much things that you probably couldn't get with, just regular, the conventional way. But as I say that, I do have to be a little bit of a contradiction to myself, I guess, but not really. I just like to do both. I would say I like to do digital coloring, and I like to, hand color. I just like art in general. I think most artists are like that, and we all have a preference, of course. If we could pick one thing, what would that one thing be? But for this instance, I can't really compare the two. And coming up also, after I show the hand colored, I will show them side by side, the digital, the vector art, and the conventional art. I'll show them side by side, but I don't think neither is better than, one of the other. I think they both have their strengths and weaknesses, but they both give a different feel to the drawing, and that's just, I think that's just a beautiful thing when it comes to experiencing art. Someone can, we can have one photo, two people walk up to this one photo, and they both have a different interpretation of what that photo may be. So, and that's all due to perception. So I guess what I'm getting at is that when you change the color method, whether it be you do digital coloring or you hand color, it kind of shifts the perception of the art a little bit, you know, and it gives it a different outlook and feel. Yeah. And it's just a beautiful thing to kind of have this talent, and just be grateful for it, because sometimes, some days it's frustrating. You want to draw, but you don't know what to draw, or you're trying to find ways to make your drawing beneficial for everybody and yourself, or you want to draw things that add value to people. You want to add value to people. You want to find out how can your art add value to people's lives. It's just art, but a message, goes a long way. They always say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I guess if you could draw, you one step closer to being and I was to say this, but you one step closer to being a good speaker. Yeah, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, I could just draw, a couple photos. I don't really got to say much, and how and you should know how I'm feeling, But not to get too long-winded and off topic. This channel is definitely going to be focused around a lot of more Dragon Ball Z, because I've always been a fan, and to this day I'm still a fan, and I have two boys that I don't want to say fell, because it definitely was my some of my doing that got them into Dragon Ball Z. It's the same thing, just like me. They see me watching it a lot, and then liking some of the cartoons and content, and then they see me draw. And when they see me draw, they was like, "Oh, daddy, oh man." So can you draw me Goku so I could color him? And that just kind of helped me out with practice, because it is hard to stay consistent, with your with art, especially if you want to make it a long-term thing, and earn some financial stability from it. You got to be consistent, you got to commit to that decision, and commit to staying creative, and free, so that when you have those ideas, you have the time to act them out, and put them down on paper. Because a lot of times I remember when I was working, just sidetrack, a little bit. I was working, and it was a whole 2 years I didn't draw, and I remember I used to draw every day. Oh man, I can't even go on and tell you how many times I used to draw, and just on everything: tissue, paper, my shoe, my pants, the wall, everything. And if I could write on it, I'm drawing. But working, not having that freedom, that leisure time, it kind of really hurted my creativity and my growth as an artist, because I was distracted by what we call, the normal responsibilities of life. You gotta get a job, you gotta get this thing, but it all came together. Say the less. It all came together, and that's why I'm here now, showing my artwork and getting over my insecurities. It may not be the best, but I know it's some people out there that could definitely appreciate my take, and my the way I approach my artwork, and color, because I definitely wasn't a big color guy. Like, I was a big shade. I love to shade, but I like, with a black or white pen, with a pencil, lead pencil. So all my drawings when I was younger would be black and white. I would stay away from color, because color, I felt like when I was young, so immature, I felt like it messed the photo up. Like it would mess it up. I felt like it was a certain quality to a black and white shaded photo. I don't know. It was weird, man. Cause as I grow, as I've grown and I see color added to certain photos and then see how it adds depth to the drawing, how it adds a certain life to the drawing, a pulse, if you will, like a certain pulse to the drawing. And it's just remarkable. It's just remarkable. So I definitely had to add that into my my repertoire, because I feel that's every artist's dream, is to see something or to have an idea and to bring it to life. It's to bring it to life. And animation is the epitome of what artists, a cartoon, and it's the epitome. But a lot of the times, just that nice still, that's still not moving, not doing anything, just speaking with its presence is a powerful thing as a portrait. A portrait, you just hang it up, you draw it, you color it real nice, you pick out a nice frame, you hang it up, and just its presence alone in the room it's telling a story. That's just a beautiful thing to be able to do with your hand. I think a lot of times we especially me, I kind of get away from like looking at like man, I could just look at whatever I want and I can literally mimic it on a piece of paper. And like I said, I have a long way to go. I didn't go to art school. I had opportunities to, I didn't do it because I thought I was the shit, pardon my French, but yeah, I didn't go to school, so everything I did and everything I do is self-taught. I taught myself how to do everything up until this moment. Definitely I watch YouTube videos, tutorials, and to better, to get better and better. And I just want to continue to do that, to get better, and then to also give you guys that process, to allow you to see that process from me now and getting better and applying what I learned on the way to the totality of my gift, which is, art. Definitely want to, get on the level of, of the heavy hitters, when it comes to, I'm talking about all, I'm talking about coloring with marker, color pencils, water paint, ink pens, gel pens, digital coloring. I want to learn, I want to learn it all. And, maybe sometimes too, that could be too much. Sometimes we put too much on our plate for us to bear. So we have to step back and focus on one thing at a time, and that could be hard sometimes, it could be hard. But, what's hard without easy? Nothing. And what's easy without hard? Nothing. We have to understand that we live in a world of duality, a world of polarity, opposing opposites. So if something is hard, the opposing side of that is easy. So just know that there's two sides to every coin, and a coin being metaphorically everything you go through, every experience, whether it be tangible or intangible, just putting your best foot forward and being everything that you can be, seeing what you want to be, sitting back, asking yourself, realizing how would it actually feel to be that person that I want to be so bad? How would it feel like? What would it feel like? What would I be doing in this exact moment if I was that person who I am striving to be? what would I feel like? What would I be doing? You know, who would I be around? Who would be around me? You know? And I mean, at this point, I'm just, ranting on. Want you guys to see the artwork some more, but it definitely was fun drawing this, and I definitely look to the future with prosperity, that we will have more fun together and we will have more great moments together as we all embark on our artistic journey and to become the best and great, or the greatest artist that we could possibly be, and not just artists, some people, maybe illustrators out there, you just do, whatever you want to do, whatever it is you're doing, just make sure it counts, just make sure it counts. Just make sure that whatever you do, the decisions you make sure you add some commitment behind that, because without commitment, there's nothing, and this artwork for me, it kind of adds to my self-esteem, my pride in a way, especially when I accomplish a difficult piece, a difficult picture or artwork, especially, I feel like I accomplished a lot when I do that. And it may not be like that for somebody else or another artist, but I'm telling you, you should look at it like that. Look at it to where this art, this piece you're about to do, whether it be a reference photo or imagination, it signifies something within your life, because it's a thought within you, and nothing that is cannot be without you, without your observation. So we have to understand that, and see where we go, or see where we reside when we are in those moments of imagination, or trying to find a piece to draw, or to add to our imagination. So this has been my first video. It's been a long video. I definitely wanted you guys to understand what I was about. I'm all about art. What the channel is about. It's definitely about art. All about art, and definitely in a case study of Dragon Ball Z, because I feel like those guys did they do an amazing job of just capturing the body in a simplistic form, down to the eyes, the eyebrows is so intense, man. It's just, it's and then also it's just authentic, so, but look forward for future videos, future content. Definitely will be back with some more artwork, and don't be afraid to write in the comments and let me know what you think of the art piece, things I could work on, if there's anything I need to work on, and if so, can you be specific, because I will definitely take you guys' constructive criticism to heart, and I will definitely try to apply what fits. I'm not gonna take everything, because I would listen to everything, but can't take everything with you, because some people just, they don't really have your greater interest at heart. So with that being said, don't forget to like if this video was amusing to you, or if it made you laugh in any sort of way, or you had some type of happy thoughts or moment. Please subscribe, like especially, and comment below. Let me know how your art is going. What are some of the pieces you enjoy drawing? Do you draw duplicate pictures? Do you have duplicate pictures? Do you draw the same thing multiple times to really see if you get better at it, because that's another thing too. That's good too to do. I learned that recently. Once I would draw something, I would say, okay, well, I'm done. I draw it. That's it. And I would never want to draw it again. But drawing it again is actually the proof in the pudding. It shows where the results, if there is results from you getting better, and learning or applying what you learned, and see how it works out. So don't want to keep you any longer. Have a good one. Peace. It's been artastic. It's been artastic. It's been artastic. It's been artastic. It's been artastic.